Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WildStar Wednesday. I am Bazil. Let's get started with the show. The topic is esports. Esports by itself is a very, very thriving community, and I think that it has a good chance to be a thriving community in WildStar as well. The main reason I think this is because of the combat system. The telegraphs allow a good visual representation of what is going on in the battlefield, which allows the viewer or spectator or commentator to really give a good analysis of what is going on and what is being transpired as the battle moves on and as the battle stops. Before any of this actually takes place, there are a couple things that need to happen. One, we need to get a community backing, and that's sometimes hard to do if the community does not want it. Now, an example would be Guild Wars 2, where they really, really tried to push esports, and it kind of fell on their face because they weren't pushing it correctly, and it wasn't what the community wanted at the time. So it's really, really difficult to kind of gauge when a community is going to want this. In World of Warcraft, they didn't do anything arena related or even competitive PvP related until their first expansion in the Burning Crusade, which was really smart. Then they introduced arenas, they introduced this ranking system, they introduced gear that was really, really good in PvP. And with the current system that is in place now for WildStar, you get a lot of that already. You already have arenas, you already have really good gear. And that's going to be difficult to kind of gauge where the community is going to want to land once the esports scene takes off, because a lot of people are going to argue that it's kind of a grind to win type of scenario because you have to have X amount of gear, X amount of defense and offense in the PvP stats to really play competitively. A level 50 in PvP gear is going to do a lot better versus a level 50 in PvP and PvE gear. Now, of course, there is a bug right now with the PvP stats, and they're going to fix that. But just in general, Carbine has stated that PvP gear is going to be better in terms of PvP usage than PvE gear. Now, of course, players will probably break that mold because we're good at that, and that's just what we do. But I think that the main stipulation for esports to actually take off, not just esports, more of a competitive scene in the game itself, is a community backing and a community willingness to participate. Now, I am trying to do that. I'm trying to be one of the spearheads, and I'm trying to wait for the right moment. And that's very difficult to gauge. I have been in the industry for quite some time, and I've seen a lot of games come and go and just really take off way too early. Guild Wars 2, Smite is one of them. Forge, which is a game probably a lot of you have never heard about, but they really kind of based their game off of esports and competitiveness, and it didn't really work because the game just wasn't ready for it. Command & Conquer Generals was another game that really tried to push that esports scene and didn't go very well because StarCraft was still very, very popular at the time and very dominant in the RTS genre. So there's another game that just didn't really take off the ground because the community didn't really want to back it. So it's going to be really difficult. It really is going to be really difficult. The next thing that is going to be very, very key for the game to thrive as a competitive and as an esport is if the devs are going to back this 100%. Like they have said that if the community wants this, then they're going to bring it in and support it 100%. Now, whether that's going to be Valve's 100% or that's going to be Blizzard's 100%, because Valve's 100% is just fantastic. I mean, we have the internationals every year. We have the compendium thing, which gives a ton of awesome bonuses for Dota 2 if you play it. And then we have Blizzard's 100%, quote unquote, where they created WCS and just basically pissed everybody off. And it didn't really work out well for them. There's been a ton of drama around the StarCraft scene in the last year, which is really unfortunate because StarCraft is a fantastic game and a fantastic scene, and still is to this day, still thriving everywhere. But it's going to really depend on how Carbine is going to want to actively participate in this, and they're going to have to hire people to actually spearhead the community scene or whatever you want to call it. They're going to have to be willing to sponsor tournaments. They're going to have to be willing to openly talk about balance a lot better than they have been, because they're really bad at it right now. They're going to have to really kind of open themselves up more to the community in terms of how certain things work in PvP, because there's going to be those people that are going to say, this mechanic is broken and here's why this needs to be changed, but then if they change that, it's going to screw with PvE, so then there's that on the table. That's going to be really, really difficult. Guild Wars 2 suffered from that. World of Warcraft suffered from that. And really, for an MMO to be in a competitive esports environment, they really have to look at Guild Wars 1, because the skills were completely different than PvP to PvE. That is the way to do it, and that can confuse some people sometimes. So that's also very, very difficult to try and maintain. And the last thing that really needs to happen is we need to have good quality shoutcasters or commentators. A shoutcaster or commentator is someone that basically is John Madden. Obviously, he's not as old as John Madden is, but John Madden is a legend, so everyone knows who he is. You say John Madden, he's like, oh yeah, he was a really, really good football commentator back in the day. That's the only sports thing I know, because I don't follow sports at all. But, I mean, as someone who doesn't follow sports, I know who John Madden is. Someone in the gaming industry is going to know who Day9 is, who Total Biscuit is, and those are both commentators for the game StarCraft. I mean, we have Apollo, we have Taste Hostess, which is like the biggest name in not just StarCraft, but esports history for commentating. We're going to have that level of quality in commentators and in shoutcasters. So, that's kind of my take on esports and WildStar in a condensed version. We had a really good discussion on it on our live stream show. I'll link that in the description below and kind of let you listen in on that. It'll be an interesting scene to watch develop, and I look forward to helping spearhead that. And, you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's still a great game. It's still going to be an awesome game, and arenas are still going to be fun. And, you know, actually, one thing I did forget to mention is that we do need a spectator mode. That's going to be key to arena-style combat. In WildStar. So I just want to I just completely forgot about that, because I'm so used to games putting that in just as a general, hey, why not? But, all right, guys, that's it for this week in WildStar Wednesday. I do appreciate you listening, and make sure to check me out on Twitter, at Bazile, and subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. And I also have a Patreon campaign going, so if you guys are able to financially support me, that would be awesome. It helps give me better equipment for better quality videos, and just overall better quality for the channel itself, as well as giving you chances for giveaways and stuff weekly and monthly, depending on what level I can get to. I'll explain that all later in another upcoming video as well. But that's it. That's all, guys, and God bless. Have a great day, morning or afternoon, wherever you are. See you in Nexus. Take care.